Hey, welcome back to my channel. I'm Sam from Rise and Thrive Wellness, and today I'm going to share a little secret with you with my 3-step metabolism method. But first, I want to talk to you about my client, Sarah. She came to me after trying everything: intermittent fasting, dieting religiously, HIIT classes. If it was associated with weight loss, you name it, she tried it. Despite being dedicated for years, she could not lose the stubborn fat that was negatively impacting her confidence and energy. If you're watching this, maybe you can resonate with that. In this video, I'm going to share the exact 3-step metabolism reset method I used with Sarah that resulted in her losing over 20 pounds, boosted her energy, balanced her hormones, and healed her relationship with food. And the best part is that she actually started by eating more food, not less. So don't worry, this isn't another dieting video where I'm going to tell you some restrictive quick fix that is not sustainable and not going to last. Step 1 is going to be your metabolic assessment. And the reason why most traditional weight loss approaches fail is because they don't start with a proper assessment. They use an online calorie calculator that assumes that your metabolism is functioning optimally to start with, when for many high achieving women, it's actually down-regulated from years of stress, dieting, and overtraining. Think about it. If you are constantly restricting calories, pushing yourself through high intensity, exhausting workouts, like maybe Orange Theory classes, F45 classes, all while managing a demanding career, your family life, and your social life, your body perceives this as stress. And what does your body do under chronic stress? It lives in fight or flight mode, which then holds onto fat as a survival mechanism. This is why calorie restriction diets do not work for so many high performing women. They're trying to solve a metabolic problem with a calorie solution. So it just doesn't work. And even if it does work temporarily, it's very short lived. And then they hit a plateau. They hit a wall that they can't push past, which then leads to burnout. So here's what we're going to do instead. We are going to look at you as a unique individual. We're going to look at your body's caloric intake history. So we're going to start tracking your food based on how you have been actually living your life, not what some generic online calculator tells you your ideal intake is for your age, your weight, your height, your gender. We're going to look at what you are actually doing in your everyday life by getting you to do an awareness track. Then we're also going to look at your body's biofeedback. So we're going to look, what are your hunger cues looking like right now? What are your energy cues looking like right now? What are your digestive cues looking like right now? What is your cycle health like? Do you have PMS? Are you having any underlying health symptoms? And then we're going to look at some custom stats. So we are going to look at your recovery metrics, which is really great to use your HRV, which is your heart rate variability. And this is going to show the variation in your resting heart rate and is really great for indicating how your body is actually recovering from stress and, everyday impactors. And then we want to look at your BBT, which is your basal body temperature. So this is your morning waking temperature. And this is going to give us insight into if your metabolism has downregulated. It can also give us insight into your thyroid function, which is directly correlated to your metabolism. So after I went through this assessment with my client, Sarah, there were a lot of indications that her metabolism had downregulated after years of dieting, eating low calories, and doing a lot of output with a lot of cardio and a lot of HIIT training and the stress of her job. And some of the signs that she was experiencing was that her digestion was very sluggish, she was constipated, she was waking up not hungry for breakfast, and her energy was very, very low, especially upon waking. But within just 3 to 4 weeks of intervention, we noticed huge improvements. She was waking up hungry again. She was having more regulated hunger cues. She was having more stable energy levels, and her digestion was improving by being able to go to the bathroom regularly again. Step number 2 is strategic nutrition rebalancing. And other terms that I commonly use for this, or maybe you have heard, are a metabolic priming phase or a reverse diet. And this is where we did something that seems completely counterintuitive. Because with a fat loss goal, naturally the inclination for most women is, I need to do more. I need to diet more. I need to restrict my calories more. I need to work out more, right? The natural conditioning that we've been led to believe is that we are never doing enough. And if it's not working, it's because we're not working hard enough, which honestly breaks my heart that that's the way people think. I used to be one of those people, but I have completely changed my mindset. So what we did was we actually started gradually increasing the amount of food Sarah ate. The goal with this was to raise Sarah's metabolic rate over time in small increases so that it gave her body time to adapt without gaining any fat. Because her metabolism had down-regulated and her new baseline calories were what she had been eating for so long, which is a very little amount, we didn't want to put her into a surplus. So we did gradual small increases every 1 to 2 weeks over time to gradually bring her baseline amount of calories or her metabolic functioning rate up to being high and what it should be functioning at again. While we did this, we also had a very strategic approach to make sure that the majority of the food she was eating, so 80% of the foods that she was eating, was very micronutrient rich foods to make sure that her body was getting all the essential nutrients and minerals that she needed to function optimally, and made sure that she had a really great balanced split of proteins, fats, and carbs, because all three of these macronutrients are essential for metabolic function. Protein is going to be really important in maintaining and building muscle mass, which muscle is a main indicator for your metabolism and how your metabolism functions, how many calories you burn per day, right, at rest. And then healthy fats are really, really important for essential hormone production, and carbs are really good for fiber and energy. So she needed all of these. We just needed to make sure that they were in the right balance. And within just a couple weeks of bumping these calories up gradually, she noticed that her energy had stabilized and that her cravings and her impulses for binge eating, which previously had derailed her fat loss efforts, completely went away, right? Because she was now eating more, fueling her body optimally, eating balanced meals, which allowed her to balance her blood sugar levels. And we were following an 80-20 split, which allowed her to get everything that her body needed while still being able to indulge and not have to cut out foods that she loved. And counter to what she feared, because naturally most people's inclination is, if I'm eating more, I'm probably going to gain weight, she actually started losing weight. And this is because when your metabolism starts functioning optimally, your body becomes much more efficient at utilizing both the incoming calories that you're giving it as well as stored fat for energy. It's about creating the right metabolic environment for the body, not just slashing calories, and being able to reduce the stress load on the body. Step 3 is training optimization. And this is where it's crucial to get the most bang for your buck while using minimum effective dosaging so that we don't over leverage your training. And Sarah, we completely restructured her training regimen and flipped it upside down on its head. So when we started, like many of you probably, Sarah was doing the most. She was doing cardio and weight training, doing HIIT sessions 5 to 6 days per week. So she was doing HIIT sessions and running on top of that because she believed that more was better. But this approach was actually creating a large stress response in her body, compounded with the low calories and the high stress of her job, which was suppressing her metabolism. So here's how we restructured her training. We pulled back to 3 strength training sessions per week, focusing mostly on compound movements with proper intensity. So making sure that she was getting the most out of every single lift, every single rep that she was doing, so she could optimize her time in the gym and did not need to live in the gym to get great results. We used progressive overload to make sure that she was continuing to challenge herself, get stronger, and progress. We also pulled the cardio and increased her overall step count to bring a higher focus on low impact movement, which allowed her to reap the benefits of still getting more movement in her day-to-day life, but not the stress response of the cardio. And later on in the mix, when she had healed her metabolism and had seen great results, we added some cardio back in, some low intensity, steady state running because she loves jogging, but her body was able to handle it because it had healed. We also brought in a focus on recovery work, so doing lots of stretching and mobility work to allow her body to feel its best and support the nervous system. This approach accomplished 4 critical things. First and foremost, it reduced the overall stress load on her body, which allowed her to have better energy and reduce inflammation and get better results. 2, it preserved and built metabolically active tissue, so muscle mass, which allowed her to boost her metabolism through burning more calories at rest. 3, by giving her more rest days and more active recovery, it improved her recovery between sessions. And 4, it was way more maintainable and sustainable and actually fit into her lifestyle without stressing her out more. And while it seems crazy that she was doing less, her results were drastically more. She got more time back in her life to start doing other things and feel more productive. Her strength and her gym confidence skyrocketed and she started hitting PRs. And more importantly, her body started responding optimally. The stubborn fat around her midsection that's often associated with stress hormones started to diminish. She started to see muscle definition and felt lean and toned, and her energy levels felt way more stable. Training smarter, not harder, was actually the key to unlocking her metabolism. So let's recap. The 3-step metabolism method that helps Sarah transform her body included: first, a proper assessment; 2, restructuring her nutrition; and 3, training smarter, not harder. By shifting her mindset and trusting the process and taking a step away from the losing fat as fast as possible mentality, we were able to really focus on optimizing Sarah's health, which allowed her to thrive from the inside out and translate into the results that she wanted all along. This also put her body and her metabolism in a healthy place to actually move into a deficit if she did want to further exacerbate those fat loss results. But because a lot of people don't take the time to go through this period and to heal their metabolism and have it functioning optimally, they're not in a place to actually be able to reap the benefits of a fat loss phase properly. So if you're currently hitting a plateau, you're stuck, you feel like you're doing everything and you're not seeing the results that you want, this just might be the missing piece to what you need. This approach has worked for so many of my clients who have hit plateaus using conventional fitness coaching methods. It's not about working harder, it's about working smarter with your unique physiology. So if you're a high-performing woman who's struggling with fat loss and you've hit a plateau despite doing all the right things, I would love to help you implement this strategy. So if you want to chat, book a free strategy call in the description below.